Welcome back. Let's put it in the ether. Don't give up too much information on what you're doing, so it will prevent envious behavior. What do I mean by that? Envious. It's hard to admit. It's hard for people to admit, and it's hard for people to understand that everyone are capable of being envious, right? Envious is one of the sins that's out there, right? Envy. What is envy? Envy is like is a behavior that causes you to be that you want to do harm to people because you're so entrenched with jealousy, right? That people are in a better position than you. You start telling yourself, why that can't be me, right? Why that can't be me, right? Right. So what I mean, don't give too much information to prevent enviousness, because when you tell people what you're gonna do, right, and it actually come to fruitions, people are gonna be naturally jealous of you, and people are gonna be envious of you. We live in an envious world, right? Where did the idea of keeping up with the Jones from, right? People are competing with each other, try one up everyone, try to be better than everyone, right? Buy the newest cars, buy the newest material, buy the newest sneakers, and be flashy. So they want this envious nature. Now, what's bad about it is that when people are too envious, right? Like I said, behavior and emotion. Some people cannot control the emotion, and that's including being envy, right? When I said do not disclose any information of what you're doing, right? That because when you actually delivering on what you are doing, like you're actually flourishing on what you are doing, deliver what you're saying, people will say, wow, wait a minute, why that can't be me? And the dangerous part is that the people who don't know how to control it, I'm being redundant, people don't know how to control their emotions. Envy can lead a person to be violent, all right? An envious person, if they're so envy, they hate you so much, they feel like that you deserve it and they deserve it, right? They will say all the negative things about you, putting you down, unsupportive, or even go to a length of hurting you or sabotaging you because they're so envious of your success, right? So when you're making it out there, just keep everything to yourself. Only share with the people that you actually trust, right? Don't share with a close a co-worker or anybody like that. Most envious thing, right? Most envious people are your co-workers, right? Why do you think there's office politics? Why do you think people are get envious when another person get promoted? They get this feeling, oh, why did he get promoted? It should have been me. I was here longer than them, right? This is where seniority comes from. The idea of seniority is the thing to combat envious, because they cannot. When you apply seniority, that means they're not promoting based on favoritism, nepotism, or anything like that. It's based on how long you work there. So eliminate all envies, right? This is why workplaces like a union, right? They don't promote based on performances. They're based on seniorities, right? So they don't want an envious nature out of people, right? Now, when you go to people that have a conventional work environment that promote on hard work and labor, that more likely to create envious among the coworkers. All right, people are naturally envious, and when I said that, and another thing when I said that, you do not want to work with your friends as well, right? Like I said, people are naturally envy. That's including your friend and family as well, right? That's why I want to say that some people you need to cut off from your life because they have this bad behavior. Some people you need to cut off. Friends and family, because they could be envious of you too. Everybody have capability of having sins. We are sinful creatures, right? And sin is one of our vice, right? Sin is envy is one of our vice. Let me reframe that, right? So everybody's envy. So this is why I say it's a bad idea to work with friends or family, because you already have this relationship with friends and family, right? Now include that in a working environment. What if your friend get promoted before you did? Right? That's going to create envious and more problems. What if your family member get promoted before you did? Right? What if you go work with your friend's business? He worked there before you did. Then you get promoted. Now that's going to create envious between you and your friends. Right? This is why I don't suggest doing that, because of that characteristic of envy. Right? So when you make something, for instance, when you go into business, work on yourself, and you don't have to advertise it to everybody. Right? You don't have to advertise that to everybody. If you try to work on yourself and self-improve yourself and try to get wealthy out there, you don't have to tell anybody, because people will be prone to envious of you and your success. right? A successful person are very people are more envious of successful persons, not realizing that how much effort did they put in there to get to that length of work, a length of success. Excuse me, right? Envious could drive a person to harm people, right? The mind is so entrenched with envious behavior. They're so jealous and so greedy, so conniving. They would actually go to a length and harm you or sabotage you, right, in your career just to prove you wrong. All right, this is why you don't should tell nobody what you're doing. Tell somebody, oh, I'm working on this and that and that. Next thing you know, the person that you told to do all this stuff to sabotage you, so they don't want to see you make that because they're not in the same position as you are. All right. This is why. This is why. This is why. This is why you don't get people don't know aren't likely to get envious of person in the different fields of work. You don't see a plumber get envious of a mechanic. You don't see a software engineer get envious of a guy who worked on the electrical line, right? Because it's a different field. But people are more likely to get envious of people who work in the same position in the same field, right? Like in the same work environment, right? And what happened when they do that? People in the work environment, they tend to sabotage each other. They set people up, frame people, so they can get fired, so they could get positions. All right. So when you go work, right? If you have coworkers, just mind your own business. Don't befriend. I don't befriend coworkers. I just go work and work. All right. I just go work and work my butt off. Right. So you don't build this connection with your coworkers. All right. You just keep it to associate. That's it. So there won't be, like if something comes up, you're not losing a friendship. That's why I don't condone working with your friends, because sometimes your friends are more valuable. You're losing a friend big time if you let these natural instincts of human nature get involved. Right? We have to admit to ourselves that everyone is envious. We have some kind of envious. Like I said in my previous video, in my other video, I said there are people don't want to admit it. Like sometimes people are narcissistic. People have a bit of narcissism in them. Everybody have a bit of narcissistic in them. You'll be lying to yourself if you're not narcissistic, right? People see them narcissistic because of what? Because of the negative connotations, right? It's like selfishness, conceited, right? But we all have that nature in us. We just need to know how to distinguish it and not to show it. Excuse me. Same goes with envy. People could disguise envy a lot of time. Right? People could disguise that. You don't know who could be envious. That's another thing. You don't know who could be envious. That's why you don't project your success or your strategy to anybody else. Not unless you monetize it or for business, whatever, sell it as a product, whatever it is, right? But if you're on your game plan, right, just keep it yourself. You don't need to say anything. Right? Your success will prove your action. Your success will prove everything. Well, next thing you know, you become a millionaire. Then people, oh man, you probably work hard for that, and they can't be envious because you don't give them a reason to be envious. You didn't give them any ideas, right? But people are naturally envious, right? This is why the Bible said. This is why envy is one of the main sins. I mean, right? This is why people don't condone being envious of anybody else. Envy will destroy you, like any other sin, right? Envy will destroy you. So when you're on your grind, you don't have to tell much to people. You just gotta work hard to say I'm going to work. I'm going to work. Next thing you know, your hard work will pay off, right? So you won't have to create, or you will prevent the behavior of envy, right? I do not want that on people. Right? When I do stuff, I don't tell people what I'm doing. I don't tell what project I'm working on. I'm just doing something. Same goes with if you have an idea for an invention, right? You want to invent something, keep that to yourself. You don't have to tell nobody. Next thing you know, people realize, oh, it might be a great idea. I'm gonna stab them in the back and use it for myself. They can steal your ideas because they're envious. They can realize that you are creating an idea that people want, a product people want, and next thing you know, people will sabotage your plan, right? People who's envious will sabotage you. Will put you in a different position. Will put you in a weak position. Will put you in a vulnerable positions because of the envious natures. Right? You don't want to be involved with people like that, and you don't want to make your friend envious of you. Right? People who are envious, they like to put you down. put you on your hard work, right? Like if you work so hard, like say you bought a boat, right? And people come up with a smirk comment like, "Oh, you couldn't get a bigger one." He's envious of you, right? Because he's not acknowledging your success. He's not supporting you, right? Envious people are not supportive people, and those are one of the people you need to cut off with your life. You don't need those kind of people in your life, right? They're not seeing the true self. They're projecting the worst characteristic. One of the worst characteristics, right? Like saying, um, like you're losing something, like you're losing your car, right? You're losing your car, right? And somebody, oh, I'm surprised you didn't lose it a long time ago, or something like that, right? There are people who project the negative connotation on you. Those are the envious people you don't need, right? But yeah, when you do something, you don't have to project anything to people. You don't have to show off, right? Because when you show off, you're making other people more envious of you, and you don't need that. Envious people will bring you problems, right? Don't be too flashy. You don't need to do that. That's attracting more problems to you. Envious people will bring making people envious will bring criminal activity to your life. On that note, guys, am I missing something? Leave a comment below. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and peace and blessings.